Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to look at the brand new foundation from ROSE INC. This is, if I could hold it the right way, the ROSE INC Softlight Skin Smoothing Foundation. We are doing quite the heck of a wear test today, one heck of a wear test today. We are actually in the middle of it right now. I'll explain in a moment, but it's good to have you here. Don't forget that you can come over and say a big hello on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads as well. All right, let's get on to this and jump into it. This is ROSE INC's brand new foundation. Now, if you recall way back, they also had, my goodness, at this point, this was a few seasons ago, they released this foundation. You remember this one with all the little bubbles? Kind of looked like the Chanel water tint. Remember that at the time? And this was a beautiful foundation. What I remember about this one, I remember doing that review. I bought two shades and they were both too light. ROSE INC foundation tends to run light. We'll talk about that with regard to this one too. So now we have a new one. This was kind of more of like the Chanel water tint, very light coverage, almost a tint. Some used it as a primer. This is definitely a medium coverage foundation. I am wearing it now. We are 2 hours into the wear test, which isn't too bad. And I also have, I'm going to have images throughout the day. I did one at 1 hour in. This is 2 hours, and I'll try to hit all the different times as we go along and get images from there, some outdoors as well. This little guy comes in 31 shades and is $54. I got the shade 8N for neutral. Hi. Look, you're seeing it already in. Like I said, we're already doing the wear test on it. When I did any, and I'll talk about this in the demo, but when I did anything to reference shades, it kept recommending shade 13 to me, but then I would see the model, and the model had a much deeper toned skin, so I went with 8. My goodness, I almost went with 4. And you know, this is a little too light, but we're working with it okay. But let me just say, if you're picking a shade and it's recommending a darker one than you'd think, it's probably correct. I should have remembered from this one, these guys run really light, but we are making do, and more than anything, we are testing the formula today. The first thing I have to say for my migraine and allergy sufferers, we have no fragrance. Hooray, I know. Hooray. There is no fragrance that I can smell here, no burst of perfume, no gourmand scent, no even foundation-y scent. You know, sometimes I smell things and I think, smells foundation-y. Nope, nothing. I smell nothing. I don't even have allergies today. So that is really good. As I said, $54, medium coverage, natural finish, and it says that it blurs and smooths. That doesn't move me. It's not like you're going to get a foundation these days that say, we do everything, but no blurring. No, we don't smooth. You know, I mean, obviously, they're going to say that. The proof will be, as they say, in the pudding. It is supposed to be a very hydrating medium coverage foundation so that it can be worn by really any sort of skin type. I have had it on for, what did I say, like an hour or 2 hours now, actually 2 hours now, and I'm not finding it more hydrating or dewy. I mean, it's definitely a natural finish. I'm going to do a little check here and we'll see how it looks. So at about, as I said, at about 2 hours in, I do see my pores, but nothing ridiculous. I do not, and I will tell you this in the demo, I am not wearing concealer, and I really frankly need it, but I'll remind you in the demo, I don't like to muddy the waters, so to speak. I want to know what the foundation is doing. So put up with the fact that I'm kind of red and need some, yeah. Okay, but under the eyes, I did kind of run it up under the eyes because I don't have any concealer. It's not making any lines right now at 2 hours in, and I guess I could kind of do this to fix it. You can see where I need concealer and I don't have any on, but you know what? Looking pretty good. At about 2 hours in, and I did a check about an hour ago, so we've got already one or two check-ins here. You know, I don't expect it to be doing too much, my goodness. I suppose if it were going to be a problem, it would already be there, but so far so good. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to the demo and have another check-in, and then we are going to go to the final check-in. I'm going to try to go 8 to 10 hours today so we can get a really good wear test. If you like what I have on my eyes, I will indeed put it into the description bar. This was a gift from a very kind viewer who asked me please not to say her name. because she is shy. But I had said I had never tried Suqqu eyeshadow, and she said, oh, you've got to, and she sent me some. So I am extremely appreciative to you lovely, lovely lady who shall remain nameless because you are shy. But I love you very, very much, and I thank you so much for the lovely gift. Okay, we are going to go to the demo now. After a brief, quick word, make sure, give a quick check. Are you still subscribed if you subscribed? And if you haven't, could you take a moment and just click on that? I know that YouTube tends to recommend creators you've already seen, but getting the subscriber numbers up helps me achieve my goals as a creator here on YouTube. So I would very much appreciate it if you would, what do they say? Smash that button? No, just tap it. Let's go to the demo. Working a bit out of sync in terms of timing, you saw the intro, which was a little bit of a wear test. And after this demo, you'll see the end of the wear test with some checks throughout the day, okay? But this is actually for me, though you're seeing it in the middle, for me this is actually the first time I'm going to see it. Now, I have shade 8N or 8 neutral here, and every time I did any sort of a quiz on the ROSE INC site or any sort of a recommendation, they kept saying 13. My goodness, that seemed way too dark. This one, perhaps a little bit too light. And I was gonna try it before I got on here, and then I thought, no, I'll do it with you guys and you'll get to see. So let's do one side of the face. The other quick caveat I have to put out there, I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand here. We're gonna do one side of the face. The other quick thing to say is that, of course, normally I would put on concealer either underneath this foundation or on top. This time I won't. Why? If there's any creasing, I don't want to be unaware of what caused it, okay? So I do have morning skincare that's completely sunken in. That's the best way to make sure that SPF won't make anything pill. Let it really sink in. I get asked that a lot. Okay, so what do we think? Woo, it looks a little light. We're gonna do one side of the face, which could look a little bit Phantom of the Opera-y, but we'll see. And again, remember, I will clearly be in need of some concealer, but we're not going to put it on because I just kind of want to see how this performs on its own. No primer, no concealer, no setting spray. I want to know if there's any problems, we know where to look. Actually, conversely, if we're pleased with it, we know what to praise as well. Okay, so this is just one side of the face as evenly as I could do it with an eyelash there. Okay, there we go. All right, well, what do we think of the shade? Let's let it sit for a moment and see if it, well, not oxidizes, but oxidizing would happen throughout the day continually, and that would be just terrible. I guess we'll see that in the wear test. I'm not predicting that. But also, when a foundation just kind of hits the air in general, I like to let it mellow and see what it's going to do. I think this is a little bit too light. Of course, this side has nothing on it but sunk it in morning skincare. This side does feel a little bit too light, but I can see that I could work with it. You know, a little bit of bronzer and such. It's certainly very lightweight and feels very nice. And as you know, we have a good history because I really liked the very first ROSE INC foundation as well. All right, let me speed it up and put it on the other side, and then we'll look at this when it's all applied and we don't have this Phantom of the Opera effect, okay? Stay right there. Okay, does this make it look really way too bright and light, or does it kind of resolve that issue? Let's take a look at my neck. Not too bad. I kind of ran the foundation down here, but I didn't run it onto my neck. I'm not showing any décolletage anyway. My t-shirt covers it. My kids got me this t-shirt. It says, "Sleep is overrated." They know someone doesn't sleep. Okay, so I got on the lips a little bit short. Ignore that. Ignore that. What do you think? Okay, really comfortable, sitting really nicely on the skin. I'm not 100% sure about the shade, but I think we can work with this as long as you guys don't think I look ghostly. Another hint towards Halloween coming up here. Maybe I have a ready-made costume. I don't think it's too bad. I think I can work with it. It's sitting on the skin very comfortably, very nicely, and looks to be a very true medium coverage, though the foundation itself is very lightweight. This coverage is very much a true medium, and I'm sure could be built, but it's meant to be a medium. It's also meant to have a very natural finish, which I will agree with. This is neither matte nor dewy. That's nice. Natural finish, I think, is the best. It really kind of feels skin-like. I'm a bit thrown by the fact that right now it's seeming a little light. I will say this, for those of you who want it to come out of the packaging and onto the face and remain the same with absolutely no change at all, I think you'll like this. This thing hasn't changed at all. I thought it would hit the air and darken up a little bit. Not at all. So I don't think we'll run the risk of it doing that throughout the day, but certainly we will see. And certainly you've seen already a little bit of the wear test in progress when you watch the first part of this. Now, please forgive the fact that under my eyes, I do need a little concealer. We're not going to add it. I just want to see what this is going to do on its own. Okay, I am going to take little photos throughout the day. Some of them will be with makeup, some of them without, depending on where I was, because I'm just going to let this ride all day long. So I will show you some updates on that. And let me also say, if you have extra questions, if you like behind the scenes stuff, if you like live stuff, do consider joining our membership. It's $4.99 a month, and the information is down below in the description bar. We'd sure love to have you, but I just love to have you here anyway. All right, let's get on with this wear test. Okay, it has been 7 hours. I wanted to extend it even past that, but we got in a good 7 hours. Before we inspect what's happening here, let me just insert, I got this outdoors before I did a lipstick change. This is at 4 hours outside. I try to even get real close up there onto the pores, because you know that's kind of my concern. That's closer than anybody should be, really, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, and now we have a final check-in with 7 hours of the brand new Rose Inc Softlight Skin Smoothing Hydrating Foundation in shade 8N. Well, I was talking during the demo, I got my mirror here, I was talking during the demo about how if you want a foundation that comes out of the bottle, the same color it goes on your face and remains that way throughout the day, this one will be it. If you are annoyed by buying the right shade and then on your face it's no longer the right shade in 10 minutes or an hour, this one will not do you dirty. This has not changed at all, which is shocking, really, because you would think it would have. The only thing I've changed is I do have a different lip gloss on. It was whatever was in my purse. I think it's a Givenchy. I'll list it below. So I did change that up. And I did run a flat iron through my hair real quick. It was looking a mess, just for transparency's sake. Okay, but we are 7 hours in and we are going to give this a look. Nothing else has been touched. So let's take a look here. Okay, again, a little bit. It's wearing a little bit around the nose. I would normally have concealer there, which would help. Remember, we're not wearing that because I want to see what this does. With concealer, I wouldn't know that, right? Okay, so it's wearing a little bit around the nose, but not too bad. And if you're gonna normally add concealer. Underneath the eyes, still looking great. Obviously, I need concealer, but it is not doing anything there. I do see my pores here, but really, if we look, and as you recall, the last test was at 4 hours and we're at 7 now, not much of a difference. So that's fine. Not really breaking up on the cheeks, a little bit around in the cheeks, a little bit settling into some pores, a little bit more than some others that promise to be smoothing. Look, it's a really pretty foundation. So let's do the pros and the cons, because I got this down, okay? A pro here would be that it remains the same shade. It's not kind of nice to know. No tomfoolery going around with the shades here. It's a nice medium, perfectly medium coverage foundation. It looks really pretty on and I think is very flattering and very much, they recommend it for skin that can get a bit red. Like if you have some rosacea, if you have some discoloration issues, I think it's really nice at creating one level shade of the skin tone, and I think that is really, really nice. There is no fragrance, which I think is always a bad thing. Really, I do. And so to me, that goes in the good category. At $54, it is a little bit steep, but at 31 shades, there's a nice amount of shade choice there and a nice stretchy amounts of shade. What would I think is the negative? Negative, it could be a few dollars less for my preferences, honestly. And I think it wears well, but I have others that wear better. I do see it wearing away around the nose, and I do see it kind of causing some texture on the cheeks. Enough to make me scream and tell you to stay away from it? Absolutely not. I think this is a very pretty foundation. I have been saying to people lately that it's getting harder and harder to review product because it's like splitting hairs. The technology that goes into this stuff nowadays, guys, is so good. It's so good that I really am splitting hairs. Is this a pretty foundation? Absolutely. Will I wear it and enjoy it? Absolutely I will. Is it as long lasting as some others I have in my collection? No. Does it smooth as much as some others I have in my collection? No. Therefore, it's terrible. Run away from it. Absolutely not. No, no, no. Again, we're splitting hairs, but you guys want me to be that honest with you, so I am, okay? I do think it's very, very pretty. I do think there's some others that perform better. Can I compare it to this first one they did? No, this is really more like a water tint. Like I said, some people use this like as like a primer, you know? So, and I do know there's two things that I owe you guys, and when I say owe you, I really mean it. Number one is a concealer roundup of all the new concealers. I am stopping everything with new releases and getting to work on that so I can get that up for you very soon. And the other thing I will have to do is put together a lot of new foundations that are coming out. I have Shiseido on the way. I have Estee Lauder on the way. There's something new by Tarte that just arrived today. That's a serum foundation. I already reviewed MAC and how many others, so I do need to do that as well. Concealer is first, but just to talk about this one, excellent, excellent, excellent. A+, no. Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. That's it. Okay, so I want to know what you guys think. Did any of you order this? How did you do with the shade choice? How did yours wear all day? I need to definitely know that. It's what makes us a community. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And don't forget to subscribe and all of that good stuff. But anyway that you're here, you guys, honestly, I'm so thrilled to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.